NASCAR on Prime.
Welcome to NASCAR on Prime. It's practice and qualifying for the Advent Health 400 at Kansas Speedway.
Wait a minute, who is this guy? What's happening here?
I'm Kevin Harvick. You'll hear Jamie McMurray and Clint Boyer. And we are here with Joplin, Missouri's finest in Emporia, Kansas. I don't know how we rank Clint Boyer.
Closer.
I thought he was going to say
that's how we rank.
Emporia, Kansas worst after Joplin, Missouri's finest.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's how it goes. Yeah. But we're here to try to cover practice and qualifying today without Mike Joy. And for me, this is a little bit different to have to talk to you guys. But this is an absolutely beast of a racetrack when it comes to qualifying today. So what do we expect?
Wide open. You better expect a lot of the loud pedal, the one on the right. The biggest thing that I've seen already, absolutely beautiful day. Let's start with that. Grip level is going to be high. It's warm outside, you know, but it's going to be hot and slick. But there's no wind. We're in Kansas. I'm from Kansas. I know that. There's no 25, 30-mile-an-hour wind, and then it just switches direction all of a sudden in the next lap. So that is going to be a little bit easier for these drivers to navigate, Jamie.
Yeah, and I would say the talk in the garage this morning was, can you run wide open? Because the best part of this track is that it's going to be right on the verge. I think you'll see some guys that go out late, be able to look at the data, and if they saw guys run wide open, try to do that, might see mistakes.
Well, it's definitely a fast racetrack, and I think you have to be willing to commit to the throttle. These corners are really, really long. We expect these guys to work the middle to the top of the racetrack pretty much the whole time as we go through this practice session. I think if you're going to run the bottom, it's probably going to be just to see how much grip is down there, and that would be the only time that you would use it is if you're going to make a pass, a slide job, or something to that effect. But
that's right. Eventually you got to go down there and see what your car is going to do, because you're going to be mired in traffic, whether it's a restart or whatever the case may be. You're going to have to make a move on the bottom to make a pass.
Yeah, you got to get a feel for your car in every part of this racetrack, the bottom, the middle, or the top. But as you mentioned, Kevin, I mean, the top is just dominant here now, the grip that's up there and the momentum that you can keep at this track. But that bump into turn one always comes to my mind when we come to this racetrack. And that's one of the most difficult parts of the track is getting set up for turn one to carry all that speed on the exit of two.
Well, as you say that, I mean, when you said now, that's because of the repave. When they progressive banked this place, I mean, it did everything that we wanted it to do and more. It was unbelievable the difference that it made. We all raced here before, and then when we watch these races now, you get the closest finish in history. You get all the things that we have seen in the years here recently.
Well, you see Bubba Wallace right here. He's been a guy to beat at these racetracks. Really, all the Toyotas, the 2311 cars, these guys, and Bubba himself has been in position to win some of these races. And right now, he's right on the verge of putting himself in a spot to capitalize on that and put himself back in victory lane.
Yeah, interesting enough, as you're talking about 2311, they kind of dominated this track for a while. And I remember coming here second race last year, talking to those guys, and they're like, we used to. They felt like they had lost a little bit of their speed here, and both of those cars struggled towards the end of the race the last time we were at this track. So hopefully they can find some of that success that they've had in the past and get it back to where they need this weekend.
Yeah, and you see on board here with Michael McDowell on the pole last week, had a really, really fast car, had an accident at the end of the race, and back up.
We've seen this out of these Spire cars week in and week out on these intermediate racetracks, about anywhere. To say, you know, honestly, they've been fast, they show speed, have to finish the deal, right? To be able to close and seal the deal, we have to clean up some problems during the race, but unbelievable speed out of the Spire cars.
In two of the last three races, Spire has actually qualified on the pole at these mile-and-a-half racetracks, so they definitely have speed in the cars.
Well, and what I would say to that is they've been able to qualify well, but McDowell came really close to being able to close that deal last weekend. I know that was frustrating the way it ended for him, but that team has turned a corner, and it doesn't happen overnight to have success, but they have speed almost every single weekend. And what I like about this group is that it's not just one driver. We've seen Hocevar and McDowell have great speed. I know Haley's team's had some hiccups, obviously a crew chief change, but overall, I think Spire's made the biggest gains this year compared to last.
Alex Bowman there in the Ally number 48. He's definitely been a guy that also makes speed. All these Hendrick cars are expected to be out front with those Gibbs and 2311 cars.
But this car in particular, this is a fantastic racetrack for him. One of his best. 10 top 10s at Kansas, most at any track, including the last 5. 7 top 10s in the last 8. Very good racetrack for Alex Bowman. Pretty good bet.
And we already see the top 4. They're actually faster than the pole speed was last year. We saw a pretty big variance in the speeds last year. We expected this tire combination to be a little bit faster like it was at Texas last week. So definitely some more speed in the cars with the more grip. Austin Cindric, Talladega winner, definitely has been on the right side of the speed category. They're starting to consistently get those finishes to be better and better.
He's done a tremendous job. I know we talked about Spire just now, being the biggest turnaround from last year, but I think Austin Cindric in general, at one point we kind of looked at him as a super speedway guy. He's really good at those type tracks, but he's really opened up and been able, I mean, last weekend was great for him. They've been good at a lot of different type tracks this year.
Regan is with his teammate.
Kevin, that's right. Joey Logano standing here watching his teammate Austin Cindric on our monitor right now. Joey, a big win last week. We come to another 1.5 miles this week. A track that you got poles and wins at. What are you going to be looking for in practice here?
Yeah, and I feel pretty confident that we should have speed. It looks like the 2's pretty quick here to start practice. So hopefully the Shell Pencil Mustangs got the same speed it had in it last week. Hopefully a little better in qualifying than we did last week later on in the show. But we'll get out there and hopefully she's dialed in pretty close. If not, we'll make some few adjustments and give it our best shot.
All right, good luck in practice. I'm sure it was a great week for you. Now we're going to go to the crew chief that's got to deal with 4 drivers today. Larry Mack, how are you going to deal with all this?
I don't know. I got a busload of drivers to deal with, but I think we'll get through it. The stages for this 400-mile race tomorrow are 80, 85, 102. The goal, talking to all these crew chiefs, is to maybe run 35 to 40 laps. That's getting close to splitting the stages in half. But the one thing they're really looking at is short run speed versus long run speed. Denny Hamlin, 11 car. I know right now he's only 10th quickest on the practice sheet. Don't be discouraged about that, because Denny Hamlin is notorious at this racetrack for having good long run speed. It paid dividends last year in the first 2 stages. It went caution free. It bit him with a late race caution that sent us into overtime though.
Yeah, when you look at Denny Hamlin's finishes, I mean, he's been lights out here. If you're going to come to Kansas, you're going to have to go through that 11 car most likely at some point.
Yeah, and I like the position he's in right here. He's right behind Josh Berry going around turns 3 and 4, putting his car in the position that most likely he will be in at some point tomorrow in the race. And that's a great car in front of him. Josh Berry has been really good at all these 1.5 mile tracks this year.
Looks like, I think that's Van Gisbergen. It is.
Oh, flat left rear.
Air pressure, you think?
Yeah, you got to wonder. It's typically the right rear, though, that you see cut down, not the left rear.
Yeah, and oh yeah, there you see it's on the rim right there. And this is one of those racetracks where you want the car as low as possible. You want to keep that platform of the car as close to the ground as possible. So they use that air pressure and challenge Goodyear to run.
It's part of the suspension, right?
It really is. And a lot of times when it goes flat like that, they've probably started too low.
Part of the aero package too.
Well, and unfortunately for Van Gisbergen, it's been a little bit of a tough year, right? Like coming into the Cup Series.
Oh, no.
Hold on to it. He's got a left. I think he's got a left rear flat, guys.
Oh,
it is soft. Look.
Good to the bottom.
So we talked about the pace being just a little bit faster, guys. One of the stories I heard in the garage today is, the air pressure is based on speed. If they, they can run a lower air pressure tomorrow, knowing the pace is going to be a little bit slower. You almost got to think seeing 2 of those in a row about the same time. It's just that they've started these tires just a little bit too low.
Yeah, and 2 different manufacturers. But luckily for Ty Gibbs right here, he feels that tire going down and actually saves this car through turns 1 and 2. But he's the fastest guy on the board.
Yeah, that's why they do it, right? Juice is worth the squeeze.
I mean, it's crazy that he was able to catch that right there. Where it looks like it went flat was in a terrible part of the track.
There's another one as well. They're all coming in. Keselowski.
Wow.
Larry, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, Clint, Goodyear gives these teams a recommendation of not going lower than 22 PSI in the left rear. Remember, we all met with Goodyear back at Daytona in February, and they said they know teams go probably down in the mid-teens because there's grip. Goodyear gives these teams what they call a pressure sweep that shows them where durability as far as performance, where they cross over. These guys know going down on that left rear, it's going to help the performance of the car. But like Shane Van Gisbergen, he ran 9 laps. That tire probably got damaged in the first lap or two when it was on that low pressure, but it didn't show up until lap 9.
And what happens here, there's a bump going into turn 1 in that high lane. And really the corners, and we were talking about this before we came on the air, the corners feel like they're a mile long here. It's just a really, really round corner that you carry a lot of speed. So loads are a little bit different than what they had at Texas and Vegas and some of the places, and the way that tire loads. And a lot of times they'll get more aggressive here with a little less air in the tire, but the loads are high because the speeds are up.
Speeds are up, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's 14, 15 laps in where they finally went down, right?
This is where it's a huge advantage to be in Group 2.
100%.
Because all of these teams that can see this, whether you had a car that had a flat tire or not, everyone knows, hey, if we think we were right on the verge, let's put a pound in, a pound and a half, because you need to run all the laps of practice. You got to figure out how low you can get. But tomorrow in the race, as the pace slows down, they can get a little more aggressive. But right now is not the time to take that chance, because you want to run all the laps just to see what the balance of your car is.
And a lot of times, you know, like in a Briscoe situation, I would always want Rodney to come on the radio and say, hey, there are some tires issues going on. We feel like we're okay on air pressure. How did you guys feel when you had that conversation over the radio? Did you want to know, or did you just want them to let you keep running?
I always could tell by their voice.
Well, listen, I
it sounded like
I
had confidence in it.
Yeah.
I got confidence in it. If not, I'm pulling in.
Because at this point, if you know there's been 4 or 5 cars that have had trouble, if you feel anything awkward on the straightaway, you're going to abort, get down, and let them come in and look at it before you take a chance. I can't believe that many cars have blown left rears and no one has spun out yet.
Larry?
I just checked with NASCAR. They will not get a replacement tire for those flat left rears, so there's a good chance those 3 drivers, they are done with this practice right there, because all they have left is their set of sticker qualifiers.
That's a good point. And that's, I mean, if you're Ty Gibbs, you're okay with that. You saved your race car, to Jamie's point, didn't spin out and wreck, and you're the fastest on the board. No problem.
Yeah, and 15 laps is a good run. I mean, like, you get 15 laps in a row here, you're going to get a pretty good baseline of what you have.
It was amazing that we were right on that as that left rear went down.
Crazy.
You saw how loose it made him getting into the corner.
Well, we will see how this tire situation shakes out. You definitely want to be in Group 2 today to feel comfortable with it.
From racetrack to road, Mobil 1 Motor Oils make whatever you drive more beautifully.
I wish my TV provider let me choose what I pay for.
Sling lets you do that.
I like the sound of that. I wish my TV provider let me pause my subscription when I want.
Sling lets you do that.
And I wish my TV provider let me have hundreds of free channels.
Sling lets you do that too, fellow siren.
Choose and customize your channel lineup or pause and watch for free. Sling lets you do that.
On Chewy, save 35% and shop all your favorite brands. For any taste or any diet, at prices you love, delivered fast. For low prices, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Shady Rays sunglasses. Break them or lose them. We'll replace them. Easy as that.
Kyle's gonna need new Shady Rays Titan.
Let's get him another pair, fast.
How you doing? Doing good. How about you? Hi.
Shady Rays. Eyewear that has your back.
Welcome back to NASCAR on Prime from Kansas Speedway. And there we see the story of this first practice session, and that being that left rear tires. We see Chase Briscoe have another one. Caution's out here.
Yeah, he, unlike the others, has elected just to stop over there.
Well, it's such a fine, yeah, it's such a fine line between tearing that race car up and everything. I mean, if you tear the race car up.
Crank that thing up and drive it back here. We really don't want to get towed.
Oh. You almost got to think they feel like it might be more damage if they hook up and tow the car versus him driving it back and dragging it.
And to that point, Jamie, if they tow that car in, it's probably going to drag the diffuser off. And right now, it's going to most likely drag the rub blocks off. There's usually not a rub block on the left rear. just so it doesn't send the shock up to the driver when it hits that. As you see that tire flat there, you know, I talked about that bump into turn 1, and with the speed and the amount of throttle that these guys are carrying, I gotta believe that with that pressure low, they just have missed what the load level is in that bump stop.
I think it's hitting. That's where the bump's hitting.
Absolutely.
You hit the bump of the left rear, not the right rear that we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, and I think the easiest way to explain at home is that tire's already riding low, but when you hit the bump, it shocks it. And Larry talked about it. It doesn't happen on lap 15. It happens on lap 1, 2, and 3.
That rim right there, the rim edge, you see right there, that cuts the sidewall out of the tire because the sidewall's soft.
Let's hear what Chase Briscoe's team had to say. Up.
Yeah, come see us. I mean, this thing is really good.
Yeah, those lap times look good. So bring it to us. I just prefer not to have an issue here. If we have an issue and we burn all the skirt off from having a tire problem, we won't have what we need tomorrow.
Yeah, I copy. All right.
Great comments right there. As you were just talking about with Chase Briscoe, they didn't want to tow it back for the damage it would cause, but you're still causing damage to the car. No one wants to have to drive their car around here on a flat tire. The 11, I would say that's bad news for the rest of the field because he's probably the best here. And when he says his car is good in practice, that's big.
Let's make sure that we clarify this is the same left side tire that we've been running on all the intermediate tracks, Vegas, everywhere that we've seen the intermediates. So it's not necessarily, it's not a new tire thing. It's got to be track specific bump down there that you're talking about in the 1. It's just above that seam on the outside, right?
Here's the onboard with Chase Briscoe when his tire went down. Oh, he felt it.
Yeah.
Whew. That's a good place for a tire to go down. Where Gibbs's went down is not.
Yeah, you want the left rear to go down right there, not the right rear, but any tire going down, you're just happy that you're able to get it woed down and save it. Regan?
Well, Kevin, one of the drivers that's going to go out in Group 2, Daniel Suarez, fresh off a top 10 finish last week at Texas. But I got to ask you, you got a teammate that just had a left rear tire go down. You see all these other left rear tires going down. As you get ready to go for your practice session, what are you thinking right now? What are you guys discussing about that?
I'm asking my teammate, we should add a little bit of air on the left rear just to be safe. I mean, honestly, everyone here is pushing the limits. It's not the first time that we're in this scenario. It's a new left side tire for Kansas that we've been running already a couple times in Texas and I think in Las Vegas as well. So different loads, different racetrack, but hopefully we can learn a little bit of what our teammate was doing there, and hopefully we have a little bit better luck, because the biggest problem is that I was talking to Shane and there is no warning. He got lucky, or everyone has been lucky that it has happened in the straightaway, but if that happens in the middle of the corner or an entry, it's a backup. So hopefully we can figure it out.
Good luck figuring it out. The cars are back on the track right now. Go get studying.
Stream 5 exclusive Cup races only on Prime, kicking off with the legendary Coca-Cola 600 on May 25th. Then buckle up for Nashville, Michigan, Mexico City, and finally Pocono. 5 tracks, 5 weeks. NASCAR, it's on Prime. Well, you see this turn 1 sign right here, and that bump, if you back up just a little bit towards the entry of turn 1, it's really hard to see, exactly where that is. And a lot of times it just, if you get above that seam, right in that area right there, if you highlight that top seam right there, Clint, just
this is the seam that I was talking about.
Yeah. So what'll happen is when you go through there, it's just one quick jar. And when you have to run the fence like that and keep the momentum up with these cars, I think that's where that low air pressure is really taking effect and just spiking the load in that left rear tire.
Yeah, and the good news for Suarez right there is that they have a baseline of where Van Gisbergen was. So whatever that number was, they know they can add a pound or a pound and a half to that, and that's probably going to be safe for them. If you're one of these organizations that you've seen a problem but your car hasn't, or you don't have a car in this practice, it's a little bit of a guess. So you might already be safe, but do you add a little bit to be safer, or do you take a chance?
Well, you definitely have to add, and that's when,
you do. That's right.
You definitely have to add, and I think when we heard Denny Hamlin's team talk about their car and Denny talk about how good that car was, the thing that changes with all that, when you put air in those tires, and when you would take air out of these back tires and it would feel so good, it always scared me when you had to raise that car up, adjust the heights and everything to go along with that, because a lot of times the air pressure was more dominant than the heights are with this car. See AJ Allmendinger right here. He's having a tough practice. He's 19th out of the 19 cars on the racetrack, but he's had a lot of good.
They've been really good at the mile and a half. Yeah,
they've been good everywhere.
Larry?
Yeah, Kevin, I've been talking to a Goodyear engineer down here that's been looking at these 4 tire failures, and as I said, Goodyear recommends 22 PSI, no lower than left rear. Let's just say the teams that's had a failure, they're down in the mid-teens.
Yeah, that's not surprising, and really you have to take all that you can get, and you have to be on the risky side. And I'd say a lot of these teams are probably, they don't have crashed race cars. They are finding out the maximum low air pressure. A lot of these teams will have new cars in Group 2 that'll go out on the racetrack in different pressures. They'll see the heights. They'll see how long that tire lasts. So a lot of teams finding the edge a little early in practice.
And I think it's worth pointing out, as Denny Hamlin didn't have a tire failure and thought his balance was really good, Gibbs, who's obviously the fastest on the board, has had that issue. They could have started at the exact same air pressure, but it's about how you enter turn 1. If Denny entered a little lower and maybe wasn't shocking that left rear tire through the bump, that's why he doesn't have this issue. It's a little bit circumstantial based on the line the driver ran on those opening 2 or 3 laps that could have caused the issue.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, Jamie, when you look at that, you see Ty Gibbs first, 29.97. See Denny Hamlin, 30.42. So that speed is less load for Denny Hamlin, and being able to not run as fast as Ty did taking off will definitely take care of those tires a little bit better.
And when I talked to a lot of the crew chiefs in the garage this morning, we talked about the load in the corner, and you know, we talked about 2 or 3 tenths quicker with this different left side tire than what they had last year earlier in the season. And they're like, it was kind of shocking when you have the load sensors on the car, how much more load 2 or 3 tenths a lap. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot difference loading in those tires, and that's why it's a little bit of a guess.
Yeah, and there you see Noah Gregson on the bottom.
Pulled up in front of him.
Yeah, he pulled right up in front of him, but Corey Heim there in a 67 car for 23.11. Great kid. I think he's got a lot of potential.
Fast, smart, good racer. Yeah, a lot of potential in Corey Heim.
And he's done really well in the races that he's got thrown in there at Dover to sub for Eric Jones, and he's definitely made the most out of his opportunities.
I like his demeanor and his mentality when he's inside the car. He always seems so calm. Like you see any interview, even after something went wrong, it just seems like his heart rate, it's almost the exact opposite of Clint, Kevin, right? Like, yeah. It always seems like he's just a little bit calmer than old Clint.
I can tell you where mold he's looking at is Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
Which is probably what he should be looking at. You can't take that kid. Yep.
And his path has been pretty interesting. He's dominating the Truck Series now. We've seen him in and out of the Xfinity car.
Nervous.
But he's done it. He seems to have adapted to the Cup cars a little bit better than most of the kids that have come along.
He was kind of in no man's land right there, crossing that seam when that car got loose. Guys probably got the left rear tire on that seam and it got loose. Same as right there. See, as soon as he crossed that, hands start wiggling pretty good, but that car's loose off the corner.
I think he knows that too.
Back to that 4.
He might be coming in, practicing the
probably going to do, green flag stop here. Let Noah know behind him. I love seeing guys do that, especially someone new like Corey, just getting a baseline. They'll pick a marker out on the outside of the racetrack, whether it's a billboard or a light, and you'll use that in practice. And if you've overshot it, you'll back that up a little bit. If you feel like you go a little deeper, you pick another marker, and that's how you know when you make that first green flag stop in the race what your braking point's going to be.
Well, I can promise you this car right here of Carson Hocevar, he's doing the exact same thing that you were talking about, coming to pit road right there, trying to get all he can. You see that box, and that was over
He'll need to back it up a little bit.
Pole sitter last week. See him coming to pit road right here, and you go as far as you can up on that banking. You see that car drag the splitter, bounce off the front of the car, and onto pit road.
He'd be coming back onto pit road if that one. Can't hit the box.
Larry?
Yeah, Kevin, Clint was talking about loose or free, and we're monitoring a lot of the radios of the drivers that's on the racetrack right now. And I would say the number one complaint across the board is loose getting in, loose on the exit. We've talked about this left side tire. It's the same right side tire combination we raced here both races last year, but it's a softer left side, meaning it has more grip, which means it should have a little more fall off.
Hotter than it was last year. It's definitely a little bit hotter, so the track's going to be slicker. And the other thing is, you better get it fixed, guys, because it's only going to get worse. This track tends to get looser the longer you go.
Yeah, and Larry talking about those left sides being a little softer. That's why the pace is quicker, and that's the reason we're seeing some of those issues. Is that pace gets quicker, the vertical load gets a little higher, and that's the struggle with the cutting down the tires at the lower air pressure.
Well, I never want to hear loose in. I never wanted to be loose in the corner. And when you're as committed as you are,
not pushing 200 miles an hour.
when you're committed as you are here, on the entry to the corner needs to be solid, or you're going to be in trouble.
And all you have to do is look on the racetrack. Well, we got 4 cars on the track. Everybody is in there making adjustments. Everybody's nervous about these tires. Some of them can't go back out. A lot of learning right here in group number 1 practice.
Yeah, that 41's about as high as I've seen anyone. It seems like, you know, once you start running the top at a place like Kansas, you want to get as close to that wall as you can on entry, but you see them cheating it down just a little bit. And like Clint was talking about, that seam, I never liked hitting those seams. I always felt like when you got on those, the car would get out from underneath you. But I would say that car's a little bit loose, and that's why he's cheating it away from the wall a little bit, not comfortable getting up there by it yet.
And the 2 ends are different. As you see, the entry into turn 1, it really is a sharper entry. I liked to put my right sides right below that seam and drive it back up to the wall to kind of get a little better, a little different angle. A lot of times when you hit that bump wrong, it gets you too high on the racetrack through the middle of 1 and 2. But there'll be a lot of guys that like to go as high as they can on the entry into 1 and 3.
And Cole's one of those guys. He's good at running the outside. You come to a racetrack where they need to be up against the wall, Cole Cussler can get the job done for you.
I can't think about how many times over the years racing here that I drove into turn 1 and I hit that bump and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get it. Just trying to get away from the wall, because as you said, if you hit that bump wrong and it pushes you up out of the groove, it's all you can do to catch it.
I thought you pushed the clutch in right there.
I might have.
See Michael McDowell coming down pit road. Got onto pit road there. A hot entry into pit road. Got in there nice and clean. Got his reference points.
You know, the other kind of guess right now for these crew chiefs or for the drivers is, if you didn't have a tire failure, how much can you take out tomorrow in the race, right? Because you're going to want to cheat that as much as you can. But man, it's such a guess, right? And when you see the issues that we saw in practice.
Well, we've had a lot of tires go down in this first practice. I think the teams will definitely make a lot of adjustments in Group 2, but you see Ty Gibbs
He's
right
happy.
there. Still looks happy. Flat tires. That's been the story. We'll see what happens when we get to Group 2 here.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows. Oh my God.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
Introducing genre packs starting at $34.99.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued.
I used to be an early bird, but psoriatic arthritis stopped my day before it started. Then things started to change for me when I found Bimzelx. Now I can't wait to say I'm back.
Bimzelx can deliver transformative relief of joint pain and stiffness, less fatigue, and for some, zero swollen joints.
I'm back to what inspires me.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Give yourself a chance to say, I'm back.
Ask your doctor about Bimzelx.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the Breakfast Faves combo. $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, little retaliation.
Holy cow!
Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at nascar.com/regional.
You're sick, on vacation. And now your wife is faced with going out there, with them, alone. But mom's having none of that. She got you a virtual visit with Amazon One Medical. And soon, beds will get delivered right to the hotel. Because no one gets out of joyful family fun. No one.
Oh. Well, we got the home track heroes here. 105 miles for you, Clint. I don't know how fast you drive, but Jamie, 153. So what did you guys think when you came to Kansas? I know you talked about driving by here.
I raced up here early on in my career at I-70 and Lakeside Speedway, and we would travel through here going to some other like late model races. And I just remember driving down the interstate, and the guys I was with, they were from around here, and they looked over and they're like, yep, right over there, we're gonna have a NASCAR track. And it was huge for this part of the country because, you know, in the early 2000s, it was all about the Charlotte area is where NASCAR was. So it was huge for this area when they built this track.
Two things for me. One, it was the exit to Lakeside Speedway 5 miles down the road. But right down from that is Wyandotte Barbecue, buddy. And you did not go through Wyandotte County without stopping.
So I can safely say I've never been to that.
I can't even see you eat
I've been to Lakeside. I think I've been to your barbecue place.
Action track.
Yeah.
Did you ever race asphalt at Lakeside?
That's all I raced there. Yeah, I never raced dirt there. It was always asphalt.
All right, Regan, save us.
I think Clint can talk about Kansas all day long, but we'll come down here and talk to Alex Moman for a minute. Alex Moman, third quickest in the practice session that just concluded. I noticed only 19 laps. Did you guys see something you didn't like out of that left rear tire and cut it short?
Yeah, I think not so much out of ours, but out of everybody else's, just trying to not give ourselves a headache and an issue there. So I feel like our Ally 48 Chevy is pretty good. Just props to everybody at Hendrick Motorsports for unloading with speed again. And yeah, I'm excited about this place. I love this place. Hopefully we don't have any tire issues and we can qualify well and kind of race from there. I feel like I need to turn a little bit better in the center, but Blake and the guys will work on it, get it dialed in for tomorrow.
All right, good luck in qualifying. Larry.
Yeah, Regan, I'm here with Denny Hamlin. Denny, 25 laps. I like what I heard Chris Gale say, your crew chief. He was happy. Sounds like you were happy. How about this 11 car?
Yeah, pretty happy with the Progressive Toyota. Not a whole lot of complaints, truthfully. We did get a little bit alarmed there with some guys losing some tires, so after 25 we called it. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Doesn't look like really we have any issues, so yeah, I'll take this balance tomorrow and we'll see what we got.
You know, Denny, the guys in the booth were talking about how you tend to take care of your tires in the beginning, and it seems like to me this is one of those tracks you focus on long run speed.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's in the gas so much, especially on the mile and a halves, that you're really the only differentiator in speed that you can create to your competition usually comes in the long run. And it's, you know, is it setup based? Is it driver based? It's a combination, but either way, that's where you're going to get the most variation of speed and really be able to pounce if you can save your tires till the end.
Well, we know, guys, now it's all about short run speed, one lap of qualifying.
He brings up such an interesting point, Kevin. Did you feel like, because I would go to tracks and I'd be good on the long run sometimes. Sometimes you'd go back the next year and you wouldn't be good on the short run. Do you feel like you could do a whole lot as a driver?
Well, I think a lot of that is probably just the fact that he's not going to go out there. I mean, when you look at Ty Gibbs, I mean, he's going to go out there and he's going to drive the heck out of it every lap. Denny's going to go out there and pace himself, not worried about, you know, that overall fast lap. He knows he has to do that once. As qualifying comes up here, you're going to have to lay it all out there. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Group 2. We'll see how that group manages this left rear tire.
We all have moments too important to miss. Moments that are first adventures. Moments that are worth making one more stop. Moments that are worth another cup of coffee. Exxon and Mobil stations are here to fuel all those moments. Our premium products, industry-leading technology, and friendly hospitality help you go the extra mile. So go on, take in that perfect moment. We'll be right there with you, every mile, every day. Go on, fuel up at Exxon and Mobil stations.
On Chewy, save 35% and shop all your favorite brands for any taste or any diet at prices you love, delivered fast. For low prices, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
Welcome to Visible, the ultimate wireless hack. It's one line, powered with unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network for just $25 a month. Stream, scroll, browse, and connect with great coverage, plus unlimited hotspot included. That's a top-tier network at a budget-friendly cost. But you already knew all that, didn't you? Visible. Live in the know.
Coofendy Menswear. From your first step into the classroom, to your stride down the aisle, to your little one's first steps, to every boardroom breakthrough. Life is a journey of seasons. Coofendy is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every milestone, timeless for every season. Coofendy, dress the journey.
There's no party like an all-star party. The NASCAR All-Star Race roars into North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's back May 16 through 18 for a no-holds-barred, old-fashioned mountain showdown. NASCAR's biggest stars going for all the money and bragging rights under the lights at one of racing's most iconic tracks. Kick your May into high gear. Get your tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
Why would you want to do something that you know darn well could kill you?
Dale Earnhardt in car number 2 is a rookie to watch in this race.
Dale Earnhardt is champion.
I never wanted to do anything else. I admired how dedicated my dad was to racing.
We do it because we don't know any better. This is what we do.
It all comes down to this.
Tonight, the Truck Series races under the lights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. And Sunday, the stars of the Cup Series tackle Kansas at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
Welcome back to Kansas Speedway. Look at there, Clint.
I got one.
You got one. There's got to be more than one here.
You're not related to that one, are you?
I'm fixing to add a flag to somebody in this infield. I'm going out after this practice to find me a tailgate king, fellas.
Hopefully there's no weird animals with it this week.
Yeah, you stole my thunder.
I mean, like, I didn't steal it. It was just there.
It was so funny. The thing almost looked bigger than you in the picture. The angle, it's just a bad angle. I'm sorry.
It was tough.
I didn't really know what to say when I saw that last week with Jamie holding
Sky, right? It was
holding
Sky.
that kangaroo.
Its name?
Bottle feeding
I have
it.
no idea.
You fed it. You can't feed animals and not know their name.
It didn't mean I asked its name. It was loud.
You couldn't convince Myers to hold it?
Chris, no. Chris didn't want me to get within 6 feet of him while I was holding it.
It would have been way better if that thing would have reached up and punched you in the face or something.
That tail would have whacked him, as would have been good.
Got some heavy hitters in this group, boys.
Always an awkward situation when you have all that trouble in the first practice and then you got to buckle into that car and go out there and...
But this is the one you want to be in.
Absolutely.
You learn from all those mistakes. I bet you there might be a shot, an air pressure or 2 pound or 2 in these left rear tires. What do you think?
And if I were in the second group, I would do exactly what you talked about, Denny Hamlin. I would not worry about my overall fast lap. I might give up just a little bit those first 2 or 3 laps to get a little bit of air pressure built up. We got
look
a good
at that
look.
thing.
Yeah, look at how flat that is.
I bet it's not. That 54 that we showed earlier, that was actually before it went flat, and it was way low.
And you could see as they get into the corner and that vertical load starts, that's through 3 and 4. 1 and 2 has just a little bit more banking.
And you got to go. I mean, you have to put the fate of the car and the situation into the crew's hands that they made the right adjustment. You don't know if it's too low. As a driver, I would ask questions, but you just got to go out there and you got to set all that aside, block it out, and you see that left rear tire. I mean, it's still wrinkled up pretty good.
And as we watch, this is Larson's opening lap, and you see the line he's running. that's the line I would want to run in qualifying. When I pulled out in practice, my first lap in race trim like this, knowing that I had the most grip, I would want to almost like simulate what I was going to do in qualifying, just to kind of get a good idea lap time wise and what the track felt like there.
Yeah, you got to get the momentum built up too. Only one way to do that here.
And that was the first car that I could really see that you could see go over that bump and into turn one. But a lot of pressure on these teams right now to get that air pressure right.
Interesting. Larson ran the top on that first lap, and now he's running the middle, like just searching around, seeing what their grip is like, kind of getting an idea. Like, is the middle have as much grip, but just a little bit less distance?
Might be staying out of that bump too.
Yeah, you see Tyler Reddick, another car that we expect to be in contention, especially if this race goes up against the wall.
This is what I like to see with Reddick. He's got traffic right in front of him. I want to go out. Obviously, you need to get a feel for your balance in your race car, but you also need to understand what it's going to be like in traffic, because there's going to be a time tomorrow, a lot of times, where you're going to have the frustration of trying to figure out how to get around that car running the wall in front of you.
You mentioned Reddick, Kevin, running the wall. He's one of the few guys that I would put in that same category as like Larson, that can just run up there lap after lap after lap, graze it, and seem to be able to not cause too much damage.
Yeah, and you see the speed right there of that 45 car. P6 on the board. William Byron, the fastest in this group, P5 overall compared to round one of practice. So these guys, the racetrack's never as fast. Well, I shouldn't say that. Usually there's a lot of times that the racetrack is not as fast in this second group. So that's big speed out of these cars with rubber on the racetrack.
Looking at Ross Chastain right here, had a great run last week at Texas, running second. And I talked with his crew chief, Phil Surgeon, down in the garage today, and asked him, like, you won here last year, you ran great at Texas. You come back here with exact same stuff, and he's like, that plus maybe just a little bit more. So he seemed pretty optimistic about the one car this weekend, and they have fired off with really good speed here for this second group.
Yeah, and when you look at Ross, I mean, he comes to Kansas Speedway, and we expect him to be in contention to run up front. He was pretty frustrated when he got out of his car last week with his interview and the things that he had to deal with on Saturday and how the car drove. That's the first time I've ever heard him be vocal publicly about the performance of his cars.
Yeah, they just have been a little bit off unloading, and when we talk about a little bit off, it's not massive changes. And I heard him talk about it last week, Clint. He's like, it was just a little bit of air pressure. It took us from, I didn't have a lot of stability or comfort in my car, to I was really good. And it's crazy to me that it takes something so small to make a difference.
Timing is everything, guys. We all know that, and momentum is even more important than that. What's he have on his side right now? Momentum. Second place last week, coming to one of his better tracks at Kansas Speedway. Look for him to be up front yet again.
Well, if you're going to get the pole, you're going to have to beat this guy.
Yes, you are.
Christopher Bell has made himself the mark as to the car that you need to beat when it comes to qualifying on the pole at Kansas Speedway. He's
amazing.
He's got 4 of them here, and really he's the one that really pushed this qualifying session up to the top. He did that a couple years ago in this next gen car, and ever since then that's been the preferred lane come qualifying time.
Well, it was so counterintuitive that you would go out and intentionally, run off the white line, because for years that's what you just always did. But you talked about momentum. That's what you have, being able to run the top on both ends.
Much like his teammates Denny Hamlin and Briscoe in that first group, took off a little bit slow. He's down to 14th or so overall speed taking off, but watch for that long run speed to fall right into place.
Yeah, you see Ricky Stenhouse right here. Great finish last week at Texas, and another one that's a lot like Ross Chastain. They've been grinding out those finishes to keep themselves in contention. And the biggest thing that I noticed with Ricky, even when the car's not running good, he's keeping the car rolling. He's not hitting anything.
I agree.
And they've done a great job of just maximizing the finishes that they've got this year.
Yeah, it's quietly having a great year. And you mentioned it, even at tracks that maybe historically haven't been great for Ricky or the 47 team, they have been able to get a good finish at the end of the day, getting the most points they can, and have put themselves right on that cutoff line to make the playoffs.
No.
Well, literally on it, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, when you talk about grinders, this guy right here and his team, they dot the I's, cross the T's, and just consistently find 1 or 2 spots every restart. They find a spot here or there on pit road. They do everything to keep themselves in the game. Qualified terrible last week and just methodically worked his way to the front and wound up in victory lane.
Until last weekend, none of that went right, though. He had the speed. He had some stage points. And
couldn't finish.
He couldn't finish the race.
Not all of his doing either. It was a little bit of everything. Kevin, you had him on your podcast this week, and I thought that you guys brought up a great topic, and I agreed 100% with you, and it was the metric that we use for the qualifying order and how that can get you behind if you don't have a good week the week before. We used to do a pill draw, and I liked that because I think it would shake it all up, and you might have a good car go to the back. Like, what do you think of his answer?
I think I like the pill draw as well, and I think when I asked Joey that question this week on the podcast, he was like, I don't.
Whoa, wait a minute.
I like
it's a different perspective now.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It is, but I appreciated, he's like, look, you earned that spot, and I agree with him, but I like the fact that we can draw that and shake it up, and as I was kind of running around the garage area this weekend, I was asking drivers and crew chiefs about that. And they're like, well, maybe you don't do it for qualifying. Maybe you just do a pill draw for your pit stall. Because it's everything, right, that adds up over the weekend. What do you got down for?
Well, come on, let's catch up with one of the guys that had a tire issue in that first session. Brad, 13 laps for you. That's right about where these cars on track are right now in terms of the tires. Did it give any kind of a warning when it went down on you?
A little bit. I was going through 3 and 4, and it felt a little soft. And thankfully, it did give me a warning, so I didn't, spin out and crash. But we're just all pushing the cars to the limit. I didn't think we were going to be that close, but we'll work on it and get it better for Sunday.
All right, look good on the long run averages, so you got that look forward to as well.
Well, they definitely need a good run, and when you talk about guys that are struggling, I mean, Brad's biggest struggle to me has been the fact that he hasn't had a good Saturday, and he's had some bad luck. They've had some decent cars, but when you do not qualify good, it just continues to go bad for you, and at some point you got to qualify good to right that ship. Larry?
Yeah, Kevin, someone asked me earlier this week, what's one of your bigger storylines coming into Kansas Speedway this week? And I said, I think it's the Ford camp. If you look right now, and I know this speed chart can be deceiving, you only got 2 Ford drivers inside the top 10. That's Josh Berry and Austin Cindric. I know a lot has happened in a year's time with this Ford Mustang Dark Horse. We know the speed they've had this year. Joey Logano winning last week. Josh Berry winning Vegas. But I go back to last year at Kansas. The Fords did not make a lot of noise. Yeah, Chris Buescher came really close to winning the spring race. He's the only Ford we talked about all day long. Blaney finished in the top 5 in the September. Again, the only Ford driver that even showed up in September. Anxious to see how these Fords race tomorrow.
Well, it's interesting right now when you look at the leaderboard today. Josh Berry, I think he and Ryan Blaney have been the fastest Fords on a lot of these mile-and-a-half racetracks. You see Berry 7th and Cindric 8th, and then you got to go all the way back to Buescher in 13th, who's looks really good.
Yeah, and I just look at Penske last weekend. They had 3 cars that could have won the race. I mean, Blaney, Cindric, and Logano, who ended up winning, were all good last weekend. And I think that will carry over to this weekend. I think if you have speed like that on mile-and-a-half, you'll be good here again this weekend. But they'll obviously have to outrun the guy that Clint is circling right now.
Yeah, and when you look at Kyle Larson going around the racetrack, the thing that I noticed when you look at him, he's a little bit higher than most of those guys. Well, now he's in the wall.
That's 2 weeks in a row, Kevin.
You jinxing people up here, Harvick?
He looks pretty high at the wall. I tell you, I was listening to you and I was waiting. Look who's right behind him, though.
Yeah, Reddick. Yeah, and you know what? They're both in this practice session as well, which I would have thought that first practice maybe with the track would have had a little bit more speed in it.
You say this all the time, Kevin. If you're going to do it, when you want to do it.
You want to do it right now. And that's the thing that we talk about with Larson especially. They're willing to take those risks. And when I was watching him for those couple laps, he was way higher than everybody else through 1 and 2, and then he got too high in 3 and 4. But that's the thing that makes him good, is he's willing to go up there and take those risks.
Well, and when you're that high, it doesn't do as much damage. Like when you're right on the wall and you get into it like that, it doesn't tear the car up near as bad as if you're 1.5 feet off the wall and you slam into it.
And typically we talk about, as we watch him get into the fence right here, typically we talk about Larson hitting the right rear and not being able to grab that front. But this one grabs the front.
Well, I think it got loose. The car started wiggling.
It looked like it hit right rear first and kind of slammed
pushed the front.
It's dirty up there. I mean, There's not anybody that's been that high.
I was going to sell it as he jumped cushion.
Yeah.
It just wasn't ready yet. But Kevin, he made note last year that he couldn't quite run right on the wall like he did in years past and was down off of it a little bit. But again, goes back to the point you were making. You want to feel that out and get it out of the way right now. This is the best time to feel it. Jamie, you said it. You're up there close to the wall. That's no harm, no foul. They're going to have to put a decal on the side of it afterwards, but that's about it.
And I think with this next gen car, I think that right next to the wall thing is not as effective as it was with the Gen 6 car. I think with this Gen 7 car, those guys were really good at riding right around the rim and being able to put that car right on the wall all the way around the corner. I think with this car, it's more about just using the whole racetrack and the momentum. There might be a little bit of help with the wall effect, but it's not like it used to be.
Well, and a lot of it is just getting to clean racetrack, and it's a fine line because most of the time clean racetrack has grip, but if there's marbles up there, and I don't know why, but this racetrack in particular, you didn't always want to be the first guy to get right up against the wall. You had to get it cleaned off for a few laps. And you mentioned that Larson was a little bit higher than everybody else. And it's a fine line of the grip versus not having grip.
And this is what's hard about this track, as you see Tyler Reddick and John Hunter Nemechek side by side. That top carries so much momentum that it makes it hard to finish the pass. You see that momentum of the 42 right through the corner. He let him go. You know, if we're racing right there,
that's not happening.
That's not happening tomorrow.
John Hunter Nemechek's again having another good year. We talked about Stenhouse, Legacy Motor Club, Eric Jones.
We got another one. Right rear tire this time.
Zane Smith.
Rear halfway down.
Well, that's the first, the caution's out. That's the first right rear tire that we have seen. And you see that dust coming out of the back of the car. That's why they did not want to tow that car earlier, because it's tearing that diffuser up in the back of that car, and it's taking those strakes and making them shorter, which will make less downforce. And this one's
they're pretty good off of forward, just an FYI.
Yeah, he's been in the wall, guys.
Well, those rear tires are definitely the key to making a lot of grip and running as little air in them as possible. I don't know if if this is an air situation or if this is a situation where he got the wall first.
Right, hit the wall and then cut the tire down. He's run 22 laps in this session. You would think if that tire was going to blow out from low air, it would happen a little bit before that. It seemed like about 14 or 15 was the most we saw with that first group on the left rears.
Well, we're talking about long run speed and who the players are. We've covered the 5. Ruddis unfortunately got in the wall. Talked about Reddick. He was one of the players that I thought coming in was going to be a favorite. Chastain was on our minds. The one that's just always easy to slip your mind is that one right there, William Byron. I look over on the long run, guys, and there's about a 1/4 of an inch difference on the graph between him and everybody else. That is a good thing. Very flat line on his fall off speed. Look for William Byron to be up front in a big way tomorrow.
And we expect the Hendrick cars, the Gibbs cars, the 2311 cars, when you can look at the stats here and pick out the guys that are most likely going to run well tomorrow.
Yeah, the other one on that list that's really good at this track and has been good this season is Chris Buescher. He just has a knack for this place, and he's done an exceptional job the last couple of years. Yeah, one of the closest finishes in NASCAR our history. 1/1000th of a second over Kyle Larson last year. And it was disheartening because if you think back to that,
pulled in to celebrate.
Everybody thought he had won. They thought they had won. And I just, it's got to just, he's so hard.
So we went
Driver,
back.
Team.
We went back and found Zane. Here he is right here. And watch, as he said, got loose off the 4. Watch this car jump sideways. Whoop, sliding in a big way. It kind of looked like that tire went down and got loose.
Yeah, it looks to me like the tire did go down right before he hit the wall.
Yeah, when you see that smoke coming out of the car like that, it's probably the fender down on that flat tire with the carcass coming off, like we saw coming into the pits right there.
Could have been worse. I think they'll get that car fixed back up, and we'll see that baby on the racetrack tomorrow.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me about that car is what it ground off on the way
coming in.
Yeah, because that when you grind those strakes off on the diffuser in the back, that's what gives up the downforce. So
well, I don't think I don't think we're going to see much out of it in qualifying, but
Yeah.
tomorrow they'll get that thing fixed back up and race ready.
You take a look at Austin Dillon right here. He's been on a little bit of a roll. 3 top 10s in a row. It's been a tough start to the year for RCR in general, but Austin, I would say similar to like with Stenhouse. Like it's quietly been good for him. Coming another decent track for him. Ran 12th here the last time we were at Kansas.
Well, he's in Group 2. That's a good start. And when we roll into this qualifying show, we've got some really good cars like Alex Bowman and Denny Hamlin that go out 8th and 9th in qualifying. We know that's not good, but to your point, Jamie, getting those solid top 10s, you're riding the ship. You're putting yourself in a position to start to capitalize on better practice, better qualifying draws. So they've definitely pointed themselves in the right direction. Regan?
Well, Kevin Zane Smith out of the car now after having that contact with the wall. Zane, we saw it jump sideways coming off of turn 4. Did it blow the tire before it did that?
Yeah, just honestly saw those issues in the first group, and then I felt we were safe on pressures we were running, and then out of nowhere just blew right rear in the middle of 3 and 4, and it unfortunately attacked the fence. Just a bad spot for that to happen. So before that, though, unbelievably fast Horizon Hobby Ford. So feel really good about our car. Felt our long run pace was as strong as anybody. So hopefully we get it back to where it was, but always love being here in Kansas. One of my favorite racetracks. So know everyone at F4M is going to be working hard to get this thing back right, but all the confidence in the world in them.
All right, thanks for talking to us.
Well, the wild thing about all of this is everybody talks that has blown tires is talking about how good their cars are.
I would. So listen, as he's doing that interview, I'm like, I love that everyone likes their car because it means it's going to be racy tomorrow for all of these guys at one of the raciest tracks we go to.
It makes me nervous because I know they're going to have to put more air in those tires.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think different of that.
And then you're going to start the race tomorrow, and the driver's going to say, "What in the world did you do to my car?"
I think you call that false advertisement.
Yeah. Daniel Suarez with a top 10 last week.
I think Trackhouse is, I mean, obviously we talked about Chastain. They might be turning the corner here. Timing is right.
And a lot of that, especially last week at Texas, you have all the carnage, you have all the things that are happening. A lot of times in a lot of these races, you have to keep yourself in position, especially when you don't feel like you have the raw speed. You got to keep yourself in contention because you never know how these races are going to work out.
And that's what they were talking about earlier down in the garage, is that they have to get better on Saturdays. And I'm like, well, what do you need? And they're like, they kind of shrug their shoulders, like, we just need some speed, and we've got to try to find that. And it's not one thing. It's doing 5 little things right just to get that little bit more speed, to qualify better, to then get that better pit selection, to then get the better qualifying draw for next week. It's just it compounds when you have a couple of bad weeks.
On board with Todd Gillen here, Clint's favorite truck stop. Loves on the side of that car.
I stopped at Love's.
Of course you did.
What do you get at Love's?
That's
Gas,
every week.
Some beef jerky. What's Clint's go-to?
What do you get at Love's?
Well, I haven't been to a Love's, so I don't know.
I guarantee you, Clint, he'll probably go to a Love's to just roam around the aisles.
So cool.
Yeah.
They first of all, you get.
Well, like if I go
card.
to Buc-ee's, I get a barbecue sandwich. What do you get when you go to Love's?
Oh, buddy, you get all sorts of stuff. You get jerky.
You got to get the Love's jerky.
Man, they got the best hot dogs in the world. When's the last hot dog you ever had?
At Martinsville with Myers, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On TV.
That was the most awkward hot dog eating contest
well, you eat
I've
those
ever
sideways.
seen.
You didn't eat it sideways.
You ate it properly.
I ate the whole thing. Yeah, I like hot dogs.
Let me tell you, it's Ty Dillon. I heard you talking about Austin, and his brother Ty Dillon and these colleague cars are just continuing to impress. We talk about Allmendinger each and every week, Kevin. I mean, in the top 10, very, very competitive each and every week, and Ty Dillon's right on his heels.
I feel like they just have to put together like the last 2% of the race. Like they run really well, and it just seems like right at the end, think about Phoenix or Texas last weekend, Talladega, like they were been in good position a lot. It's just right at the very end, it slipped away from them.
It's the exact opposite of the Daniel Suarez and Ross Chastain scenario, where they keep themselves in contention. You talk about Ty Gibbs and you talk about Carson Hocevar and some of these guys that have had good speed. We talk about them all day, and then the end of the race rolls around, not there. Take a look at William Byron here, trying to get on pit road. And this is a tough one. You know, you want to maximize everything that you can so you can see what's too far.
I always took notes. You know, after the race was over, I'd do my driver debrief, and I would have.
Wait a second, you still take notes?
I know that I like notes. Larry likes notes as well. I would always, you know, have that marker picked out on the wall of what I used in happy hour versus what I could actually use in the race. And then when you'd come back, that's what I would use again. And it's weird how, based on how much tire fall off you have, how hot it is, how that distance can change, and you're always trying to maximize it as much as you can.
Well, we didn't see the little wall episode that Kyle Larson had slow him down from practicing. So he's back out on the track, Clint.
Didn't take long, did it? It looks good to me. Look good to you? Yeah. Go out and see how it feels.
Well,
right back to the top of the racetrack. Right back to the top of the racetrack.
He faded away a little bit on exit. Not quite as brave all the way around.
Yeah, you're right. A couple inches.
Yeah.
I'd say give him 2 laps, and he'll probably
yeah.
right back in the same spot.
Wild race last night. He had a high limits race down the road at Lakeside. I watched some of the highlights. Looked like Rico jumped Gary and well jumped him too, but then here comes Sweetie, his brother-in-law. He was flipping and he was trying to figure it out, run in, rip the wing off of it. It's just amazing the racing that this kid does each and every, well, it's every night. It ain't every week, it's literally every night nowadays.
And you see him practicing, trying to get on pit road.
2, 1 right here.
Well, he completely botched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, too deep. You know, Clint, the thing to me about Kyle is that the discipline to run right against the wall, just lap after lap after. Like it's hard for all 3 of us to explain how hard that is to do just consistently every single lap.
Practice makes perfect.
He sent me a text earlier this week, asked me a question, and he's like, "Well, I won't be home. I'm racing on Wednesday night in somewhere in Kansas. Where were they at? Where were they racing this
Lakeside.
week? Was it Lakeside? Yeah."
Yes.
And I texted him back. I said, "Man, I wish I had your energy." And immediately he texted me back. He said, "I wish I had your time."
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Pretty witty.
A couple years ago, he had time and he went right back to racing. I'm like, it's his series. He doesn't have to race in it. They just show up with his name on it.
Well,
yeah, make no mistake about it. He wants to be in a race car.
We're watching Justin Haley right here. He's P11 currently in this practice. We've seen flashes of speed out of this car as well. Obviously a crew chief change a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and you see McDowell's up there in second. I mean, the Spire cars, man, every week just show up and have incredibly good speed.
Well, we've got about 3 minutes left in this practice. The fastest in this group is William Byron. Tyler Reddick is second. Kyle Larson third, Ross Chastain fourth, Justin Haley fifth out of this group. But
who you liking, fellas?
You know, when you look at this group, it's pretty easy to pick one out, Clint. Top 5 consecutive laps, Kyle Larson. Top 10 or 10 laps, Kyle Larson. 15, Kyle Larson.
Keep going over there. Go over to the best consecutive 20. Let me tell you a name you haven't even heard this practice. The 8, Kyle Busch. He's third on that list. Look for him to be good on a long run.
Well, you get over to that best 20-lap average there, and William Byron tops that list. So we saw why Larson isn't on that list, because he got into the wall and had to take a little bit of a break. But we look at Kyle Busch's car, another heartbreaker last week, running fourth. Thought he had a chance to win, and we talked him right into a spin out there, Clint.
Well, he's digging. It's just no question. You can see the effort that he's probably trying too hard to get the results out of it. He was pushing hard, and right as you were talking about him, there he went.
Yeah, he spun out here last year in the spring race. You see the fall race here, racing for the win, got loose, lost control of that car off of turn 2. So it's been
the important thing is
he's got a fast car.
The important thing is the first part of that the sentence that you said, racing for the win.
And I feel like he puts a lot of pressure on himself to get back into victory lane, and it seems like all those things at the end of these races have been spin outs, pit road speeding. It just seems like one thing or another takes them out of contention to finish that off.
It does, and when I think about Kyle and watching those highlights, with this car, it's hard to push it over the edge, and it bites a lot of guys, and I feel like we saw it last week at Texas, right? Like just hit that bump, got a little bit out from underneath him, and spun like we saw in the highlight reel right there from Kansas. But the speed is there, man. I mean, they've done a great job of having good speed each week. They just have to get to the end.
You want to talk about speed? There's nobody that has more speed than that car right there, Ryan Blaney. He's been able to drive up through the field better than any car.
He can pass better. Like, that's the one thing to me that sticks out about Blaney is they have speed, but
and it doesn't matter where it's at.
Yeah, and when he goes to the back, he can work his way through the pack and get back to the front better than anyone else in the series.
100%. There's only about 3 of them, in my opinion, that can do that at any given time when they have trouble. And he's certainly one of them.
Well, you see him nervous. It looks very nervous.
I think that's a big reason why he can drive through the field too. I think everybody gets tight deep into a run, and man, he's still loose, guys.
But he's doing a green flag stop here. See if he can get slowed down. We've seen about everybody else miss. Yeah, great job right there.
All right, well, that does it for Group 2. And for those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, coverage continues on Prime Video with qualifying getting underway shortly.